My name is Jeff Rush, and this is the second talk in the series Casting Your Knowledge with Style. This talk will focus on the actual casting process, that of capture and distribution. We'll cover how to start and end your cast, some post-processing tips, some do's and don'ts on speaker behavior. Then we'll finish up with some options for distributing your talk. You're ready to record your presentation, but what do you say first? How do you introduce the topic and yourself? One suggestion is this very simple statement. Hi, my name is Bob, and in this talk I'll be demonstrating how to do such and such. For shortcast, it is important to keep it brief and get into the talk quickly because you don't have much time. If your talk is highly specific to certain versions of software, this introduction is a good place to mention it. If the version relationships are complex, use a separate slide. You may also want to consider some kind of music or sound effect lead-in to set the tone and give a certain branding to your presentations. You may have seen this used to good effect in the Python 411 podcast by Ron Stevens. By the way, the Magnatune.org music site has some very clear music licensing terms for use in cast, and for non-commercial podcasts, there is no fee for any use of any other music. Your first slide should say something about you and your talk and some distribution points. And so we use that first slide as your talk graphic. Obviously, it should give your title, but also some way to contact you, such as your name and email or a website. You should also make clear the ownership and distribution rights for your talk. If you welcome others spreading it around, please make it clear. Include the date, preferably in an international format, so that viewers have some idea of the freshness of the talk if they come across it in a collection. Because casts can be redone so easily, I recommend a version number so that someone who has already watched your talk can know if this is a more recent release. While the date could serve as that indicator, having a distinct version number that increments conveys to your viewers that the material is being updated and they should watch for new releases. You'll need a brief abstract of your talk to post on your distribution site, so go ahead and include it on the first slide as well. It's a good idea to finish your talk with a final slide that repeats your name and contact information, and that points to where the video, slides, or handouts can be obtained. You may also consider pointing to various resources for further learning. As you close your talk, you might end with a brief restatement of the purpose of your talk, and perhaps an optional audio fade-out of music or sound effects to convey that the talk is actually ended and give a brand. For post-processing of your talk, there are a wide variety of tools. For Linux, I use the tools Audacity for audio processing and AVI Demux for video editing. The SOX tool is good for batch-style filtering of the audio. I'll show more of its use in a follow-on talk on Linux and casting. Basic uses of these tools is to snip the beginning or ending of a talk or any boring parts in the middle. Some also use them to alter the speed of presentation just a bit if you tend to speak quickly or slowly. These tools, or one called the levelator, can be used to normalize the audio to an optimum level so that your talks are consistent from one to the next. When starting out in casting, there are a few behaviors to watch out for. Avoid breathing into the microphone. Test your audio setup beforehand and practice to get the sound right. Don't just talk and ignore the screen. Show that feature rather than verbally describe it if at all possible. Do not try to type in large amounts of code during your talk. Prepare it in advance, as you're bound to make a mistake or bore your viewers while they're waiting. Unless your talk is about debugging, do not try to debug unfamiliar code in the middle of your talk. When the mouse is not needed, park it out of the way and leave it alone. Do not fidget with the mouse. Or enable a desktop feature that hides the mouse when it is active, sometimes called the sun mouse. When sitting down to cast, always start with plenty of disk space. It is painful to miss that perfect recording and have to start over just because your disk filled up in the middle. Also be sure to plug in your laptop. I've seen casts where a window popped up saying there were 5 minutes left on the battery and the speaker began talking faster and faster. It can be helpful if you've interspersed speaker notes in your slides to print them out and refer to them as you speak. It's something you can do with casting that you can't really do with face-to-face speaking. And don't try to spell out URLs verbally. It never works. Show them in your slides, or use software that provides yellow sticky notes on your desktop that you can drag into view. Most desktops provide something like this. So you've recorded your talk and are ready to make it available to others. So that they can catalog it on their site or in local collections, be sure to tag your talk with metadata, various tags that go inside the multimedia file being distributed. There are various tools for this, depending on your platform and capture software. For some formats, there are tools that will insert a seekable index so that the viewer can jump to any part of the talk. Sometimes this is done for you automatically. If your talk does not have a strong reliance on visual presentation, you may want to consider an audio-only distribution for those with portable players during long commutes or walks. And if you use restructured text for your slides, as I have, please consider making your talk available as a flat text file under an open license for others to update and build upon. When considering where to distribute your talk, one that will get you a wide general audience is Google Video. They prefer submissions in either the MPEG-4 with MP3 audio or MPEG-2 with MP3 audio, but will accept a variety of other formats. They do not, however, accept any flash files. And you should be aware that they will scale your video down, and for Screencast that can make text unreadable. You'll have to use a larger font, which can make presentation awkward, or a different distributor. For the programmer community, especially for Python-related materials, the Show Me Do team is an excellent choice. They want submissions in MPEG-4, AVI, or MOV containers with mono audio and 800 by 600 screen resolution. Like Google Video, they will transcode your video down to 640 by 480 resolution at 5 frames per second, hosting it on their site as Flash Video. When submitting talks, they request that you use the P7-zip compression tool available under all common platforms, including Linux. It seems to work very well for video specifically. Or you may prefer to host your videos on your own site. To get the word out, establish an RSS feed and get it aggregated onto a well-known site. For embedding the video into your website, there are several free Flash players around the net. But please remember those of us who prefer open formats, and also offer your content for the OGG or OGG Vorbis encodings. Video streaming is a complex topic, but from my reading, not all formats are suitable for streaming. According to Wikipedia, of the many available, the best three seem to be MP4 container with audio in MP3 format, the OGG media file with audio in Vorbis, and Flash Video with audio in MP3 format. Wikipedia has a note that old containers, like AVI, are not well suited for streaming. I'd welcome further comments on this, but I feel if I covered the three formats above, I got all bases covered and can mechanically convert to the others. The key to casting success is practice, practice, practice. As you crank them out, you will get better at it. And not just at casting, but also live presentations, as many of these techniques work there as well. I also hope we can create more confident and better speakers for our conferences. When you produce some great casts, please let me know. The Python community needs more multimedia materials. We need 5-minute introductory segments to those who are unfamiliar with a certain concept. We need in-depth talks about commonly used modules. And we need walkthrough talks on designing or debugging programs, the state of the programmer. Please get involved. It's work, but it's also a lot of fun. Look for the next talk in this series, in which we cover the tools I use for casting under Linux specifically. Thanks for listening, and I hope some of you will be motivated to get into casting. I hope to refine and expand this talk with feedback from listeners, so please let me know where I get it wrong and how it can be improved. The slides and script are available under the GNU free documentation license for you to reuse or change. Thank you.